Hello, my name is Jennifer and welcome to my speed build of a family home shell that I built for OhcluckGames. Now I will have a link to her speed furnish at the end of this video. Here is a look at the floor plan and illustration of what the house is supposed to look like, or it was based off of. I obviously took creative license and changed it, color and all. I also changed the floor plan a little bit, but mostly it does look like that. I have the bedrooms, 2 bedrooms on the left hand side and the master suite on the right hand side with, the main living area in the middle. But where I did change is I added a basement, and that I had to add an entrance to the basement. But I haven't got to that part yet, and that's partly where I change it. So that's where I added the basement. And I just added it directly because I hadn't added the foundation yet. So if you have the foundation, you need to start outside the house footprint if you don't want the dirt to come up and cover the foundation. But if you haven't added the foundation yet, you can just put it where you want it and then lift the foundation afterwards, which is what I did in this case. And there's me adding the stairs into the very open basement. I do not put a floor plan in for the basement, and I'm looking forward to seeing OhcluckGames furnishing of it, because she will, I don't know whether she furnished that or not, but it was definitely optional as to whether it was there. I like adding basements to houses so that it gives you a place to expand without having to leave the house, but generally I prefer to play on 1-story houses. But I usually like to stick stuff in the basement that maybe my Sims aren't going to use quite as much. There is actually a space on the floor plan for laundry. So you could put it in the basement, but there is room for it off the kitchen area. It's meant to be an enclosed closet, but it was just essentially a 1 grid wide type closet, which doesn't work in the game to actually play with it. So I left it open instead of closing it in like the floor plan showed. And this roof does change off camera because I added a skylight. I like to add skylights because they add a lot of natural light inside the house. More so if you play with your graphics on Ultra, or at least your lighting part of your graphics on Ultra, to be able to get the light to come through nicely. But if you do, it does add some nice light inside the house. Now here I did change from the illustration. It showed it as being white, and I made the house red, which is why I ended up naming the house Cardinal Cottage to go with the red. I thought it was kind of cute, and I did say cottage because it's not the biggest house, it's not the biggest lot. I know it's a 3-bedroom house, but I've had bigger. But again, there's lots of room to grow with the space in the basement. So I add this natural stone and some stairs and some railings to the front porch, and obviously some foundation. And the back, I end up doing the same type of, the back and front have the same railing, the same stairs, and the same stairway railing will be the same. It's the one that actually matches the railing that's used on the porches. So that's kind of it. And with seasons, I like to actually add a stone stairway. So that's not stairway, but path going off so they don't fall down when they're leaving the house. I did add a fireplace in there and some, things for the roof. I think I moved them around as to where they're located. Of course, the middle one would have to definitely be moved because I put a skylight right where that is. And I did add a garbage can and a mailbox because you need that for the lot to function properly, especially the mailbox for you to be able to get some mail. So here I'm just adding a little bit of furniture to the front porch. I add a chest table and some decor items. This changed a little bit in the final thing. I did a few changes off camera because, when I was looking at it and adding some things and whatnot, I added garden plants in the back from the garden, from some rooms I have, I should say. So here at the front, you may notice that things are I can't do certain things, and that's because I do not have move objects on right here. And I kind of did that because I couldn't play test the house, because it's hard to play test something with nobody in it. But in the back, I end up giving in when I'm trying to do the landscaping back here because I just can't get it to look how I want it to look. Now I have the gate over there on the right, but off camera I added a gate also on the left. So there's 2 ways to get out of this backyard. Well, I guess 3, because you can go in the house, but there's also 2 ways from the actual backyard area itself. And I add sort of, you know, the barbecue and like a little dining area, the table with the umbrella. It's a 6-seater one. There's monkey bars. The idea is this is a family home, and of course I did the toddler slide, and there's Patchy and some garden plots, which you will not see me adding, but as I said, I do add some plants. I add a money tree, a forbidden fruit tree, as well as other various plants that I happen to have for one of my Sims save, that Sims that I was moving to another save, and I didn't want them to have to start over with collecting their plants. So I saved their garden room because they had a greenhouse inside. I saved it so that I could put it in their new home. And there, the front, I'm just adding, you know, a tree up there, which maybe changes a little bit. I think it stays the tree in general, but it might, I don't know where it is located. Now, I really like Patchy because if you befriend him, you can get gardening tips from him, and you can have your Sims learn the gardening skill really quickly, as well as you can check his pockets for seeds. You're not always going to get any, but you will sometimes, and you can get some pretty good seeds from him. I always like to get the grow fruit from Patchy, which you can also get from Outdoor Retreat if you go to Granite Falls, from the little ranger station where you can buy things. And that's where I put move objects on, because I wanted that tree there and it just wasn't working how I wanted it to work. So with the hedging and with the monkey bars, but I think it's still far enough away that it should work. And so I'm adding some hedges around the outside of the house. When I originally looked, they do poke through a little bit like they can do with the greenery, but I do fix that up at the end. And I added the closet here. All the little things like that are meant to be spots for closets, but you know, you can do whatever you want with them. And there it's sort of a walkthrough to go into the bathroom area. Now I'm adding all of the terrain paint to the lot. I tend to do that afterwards because I like to place the stuff and then add the terrain paint where I added it. I know some people put the terrain paint down and then add the flowers afterwards. Either way obviously works, just it's a matter of preference of how you want it to go. That's where I changed all that stuff. I didn't show it because it was just finicky, moving things around a little bit, but you can see where it ends up in the end. And I really like having an observatory sometimes on my lots. The Sims like to use it. It's a good way to build your logic skill, and Sims can get fun, and obviously it's an alternative woohoo location, so I'm adding some terrain paint there, change it up a little bit, and add a little bit of landscaping. But I think this is when I'm doing this, I'm like, okay, I need to touch up these and move them all out a little bit so that they're not showing the green all the way through. Now, once I'm done this, we're going to end with some screenshots. There you can see that skylight there. And there's the floor plan, that didn't change at all. And there's the basement, which I just have a couple of lights in there just so it's not completely dark. There's the house from the front. And there's the side where you can see that I added the gate, the wood pile, and some wall decor items for gardening kind of thing. There's the house on the gallery. Shows you the packs that are there and the price. And it's up under my Origin ID MapleSimmer. It's Cardinal Cottage, and as I said, I will link to OhcluckGames furnishing of it here. I will also link to my furnishing of a shell she built for me to furnish, so go check both those videos out. But that's going to be it for this video. Thanks very much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye! This has been Jennifer. If you have any comments or suggestions, please leave them below. I'd love to see them. If you liked the video, please leave a like. And if you'd like to see more videos of challenge, let's plays, tutorials, and occasional speed builds, please subscribe if you haven't already done so. Thanks very much.